Every year, more people wake up to the reality that in crypto, you are your own bank. And just like a real bank keeps its vault doors welded from solid steel, you need a plan that survives fire, floods, hackers, toddlers, and your own forgetfulness. That's why today we're talking about the one upgrade almost nobody makes until it's too late: metal plates for your seed phrase. So go down below and smash the like button for disaster-proof self-custody, and let's level up your brains. Don't know how to do a transition. Can't do the anymore. End of an era. First of all, what exactly is a seed phrase and why does it deserve its own titanium body armor? When you set up a Bitcoin wallet, it spits out 12 or 24 ordinary words. Those words are the secret combination to every address that wallet will ever generate. If you lose your hardware wallet, it's no problem, because if you type those words into a fresh device, your money is going to be safe. But if you're setting up your hardware wallet and you write your seed phrase on this flimsy piece of paper, and then this flimsy piece of paper gets destroyed, your money is gone. Is no fraud department, there is no password reset, there is no oops button. If this seed phrase is gone, it's going to be impossible for you to move money around on the blockchain. But it's really convenient when you're setting up your wallet to just grab a piece of paper and write down your seed phrase. So most beginners and even some experts will just grab whatever scrap of paper is closest and call it a day. Paper feels safe because it's offline and it can't be hacked. But paper has one other major superpower, which is turning into garbage. It burns, bleeds ink when the roof leaks, fades in a sun-baked attic, and hides itself during house moves like it's playing prop hunt. Recently, a California retiree lost her entire Bitcoin nest egg when wildfires reduced her handwritten seed phrase to dust. No seed, no recovery, no second chances. Then there are the people who think, I'm so smart for that, I'm not going to put my seed phrase on a piece of paper. I'm going to put it in my password manager or up in iCloud. Congratulations. Now you don't have to be worried about Mother Nature destroying your seed phrase or about your flimsy piece of paper being ripped up. Now you just have to worry about every hacker on the planet. Do not ever put your seed phrase into an internet-connected device, especially if the seed phrase was generated from a hardware wallet. What you should do instead is hammer your seed phrase into this bulletproof sheet of titanium. Titanium basically doesn't melt. It shrugs off salt water and it laughs at mold. Once you hammer your seed phrase into these metal sheets, barring a trip through an industrial shredder, your seed phrase will still be readable 100 years from now. The only problem is that it makes a ton of noise and all your neighbors will hate you. But seriously, the test labs that have developed these products have roasted the seed plates with blowtorches and dropped them in acid baths and even run them over with construction equipment. And the seed phrases that they put into the metal plates came out dinged for sure, but definitely still readable. If you put paper through those same conditions, it obviously doesn't stand a chance. But the naysayers in the comments ask, what about thieves? If the words are on these metal plates and someone steals your plates, then they have your seed phrase. That is correct, people in the comments. These metal plates solve the problem of paper seed phrases not being very durable, but they do not solve the problem of thieves. They do not solve the problem of world hunger, and there are many, many other problems that are not solved by these metal plates. So will these metal plates keep your seed phrase safe? Yes, but only from Mother Nature versus a piece of paper. They will not keep your seed phrase safe from thieves. So what are you going to do instead? You're going to put the seed phrase in a safe or a bank box or a safe at work or a safe at, if you have some other place, your parents' house. And if you want to double up extra security, you can add 25th word BIP39 passphrases to any of these wallets, or you could create a multi-sig of multiple ones of these wallets, maybe a 2 of 3 or a 3 of 5. You could use Unchained Capital or Casa. You could put this seed phrase and hardware wallet in Seattle. You could put this one in Florida. Those are two geographically dispersed areas. One natural disaster is not going to get rid of both of the seed phrases, and then your money is pretty safe. So bottom line, this isn't going to solve all your problems, but it is going to solve the biggest problem for most people who are already at this step in their self-custody cryptocurrency journey. Now we should all be on the same page. Metal plates are going to make your seed phrase a lot safer, but the next question that I often get is, when does it make sense to upgrade to metal plates? If I have $1,000 of cryptocurrency, does it make sense for me to back my seed phrase up in bulletproof sheets of titanium? The answer is, it depends, but probably not. If losing your crypto would hurt your feelings, you'd be really upset that you lost your $700 of crypto, but it's not going to affect like the way that you live your life. If you lost that $700, that would suck, but you're still going to make your rent payment next month. A flimsy piece of paper might actually be fine for you. The moment that your crypto holdings become an amount that you would be very sad if they just disappeared, you should spend the $100 and just buy some titanium plates. And when your stack becomes life-changing amounts of money, you should get multiple plates and back them up on a multi-sig and put those plates and wallets into different zip codes. The major institutions that are in this space solved this problem years ago, and they do it with physical plates too. They generate keys inside of Faraday tents. For most of us, just using a ledger or a cold card is going to be good enough, and then eventually upgrading to a multi-sig. They split their seed phrases or their multi-sigs into shards and disperse the shards into separate vaults across different continents. One of them literally stores their private keys in a Swiss mountain bunker behind biometric blast doors. Others are doing exactly what a lot of us are doing, which is collaborative custody multi-sig, multiple hardware wallets, multiple locations where you need a quorum of those hardware wallets to restore your funds. Every one of those keys is a real-world tangible backup that can survive floods, fires, and forgotten iCloud passwords, because none of those keys live in the cloud. The good news is that you don't need to build or buy a bunker in the Swiss Alps to copy the playbooks of these institutions. I've tried out a lot of different seed phrase plates over the years, including this Cryptotag one that I have made many videos about. My new favorite product for backing up seed phrases is this brand new Cryptotag Loki. You can see a size comparison here. The Loki over here is just a little bit smaller than the traditional Cryptotag, and they've totally rebuilt the experience. So instead of needing to use this giant hammer and some of these sometimes confusing little pegs, they had a peg for every letter of the alphabet. Back when I first started doing this, I would take the hammer and the little letter, and I would hammer it into the seed phrase plate. And I would do that letter by letter for every word. Back in my day, when I did that, it took a while. It took probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour. My neighbors hated me. My wife hated me. No one was happy at all of the noise that I was making with this hammer. My bank account was also not happy because this was more expensive. This, very simple, no hammer required. Comes with a little stamping thing. And a lot of other plates that come with one of these stamping things, they have this really confusing system where instead of just stamping in the letters, like you can hopefully see here, the grid of just all the letters, and I'll put a higher quality screenshot, hopefully on screen here for you. A lot of other plates, they don't do the letters. They have this really confusing number system that doesn't make any sense. If your word was fast, there's 4 little columns, and you would just do F, A, S, E. It's important that these are readable because someone else that is not you might be trying to restore them in the future, and you don't want that person to have to go look up BIP39 cryptography numbering to be able to restore a seed phrase. It should be easy to look at this and restore the seed phrase. You're already going to be going through it if you're trying to restore the seed phrase from this titanium backup. And so you want it to be as stress-free of a process as possible. And I think that Cryptotag has done a really good job of making this product super easy to use. It's not going to take you a long time, and it's not going to be as expensive as their top-of-the-line product, which might be a little bit easier to read just because these plates are bigger. But this is just way easier to use, and it's a cheaper, better product for most people. And then once you're done putting the seed phrase on here, you can use these little privacy shields to cover up the seed phrase so that no one can just like take a picture of it or something. And then you can feel confident that once you drop it off in a safe or a bank safe deposit box, or even if you throw it in a drawer, that no one's just going to see this and immediately know the seed phrase. As far as durability goes, I'll leave some tests down in the description. Years ago, Jamison Lopp did a very thorough security analysis on these crypto tags. He heated them up to 1,665 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt some engine blocks, and the letters were still readable. He also shot it and put it in salt water and drove over it, etc., etc. And the bottom line was that the Cryptotag held up. Cryptotag was nice enough to send me the Loki for free, but I bought a handful of these other products from them in the past, like the entire Zeus set back in the day. And I've been using them for years now to keep my entire multi-sig safe for the future. So if you want to order a Cryptotag Loki, there's an affiliate link down in the description. And for one of you who has stayed to the end of the video here, Cryptotag has been nice enough to give away one of these Lokis to a lucky commenter. So if you're watching this video in the first 7 days after it's gone live, leave a comment down below that includes the word Loki, and you'll be entered to win the giveaway. I'll pull for the winner here on that day that I'm going to post here on the screen. I'm going to go over to commentpicker.com and post the results to YouTube community tab, and then reply to the comment of whoever won. So check back here for that. 1 comment per person, has to include the word Loki. All of the rules for the contest are down in the description. So protect your words, protect your coins, protect your future self from very preventable disasters, and put your seed phrase in bulletproof sheets of titanium, you absolute monsters. Join the Discord or follow the blog if you learned something. I'll see you guys soon.